Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you must have watched the part 1 of my IELTS differences series. So this is the part 2 of it, where I discuss the differences between writing the paper-based IELTS and the computer-based IELTS, because I have experience in writing both of them. Okay. So let's start with the reading. The first difference I noticed between the computer-based and the paper-based IELTS is the timing and the timer. So with the computer-based, you have your countdown timer on the screen, on the monitor, you know, counting down for you, and then when it's, I think, 10 minutes and 5 minutes before time over, it blinks red. So right there on your screen, you know how much time you have and you know how fast to work with your time. But for the paper-based, you generally have a central wall clock in front of the examination hall, or sometimes they might have a what's it called now, like a screen in front of you, like a general screen in front of you, which sometimes if you're behind, you have to squint, or you have to manually calculate how many minutes you have left for your exam to end. Sometimes, or most times, when it's 10 minutes and 5 minutes to the end of the exam, the examiners or the invigilators will be the ones to tell you manually that your time is almost up. So that's the first difference. So the second difference I found with reading is that for reading on the CBT, you have the questions, you know, on the right hand side, and you have the passage on the left, so you can easily scroll up and down on the passage and the questions and find your answer. So it feels more convenient and more sleek to answer your question, unlike the paper-based, where your passage is like 2 pages away from the questions, so you always have to flip. It's not convenient as much. Okay, so that's one other difference. Also, with regards to the screen or the text and reading, for the CBT, you can actually increase the font size of your passage before clicking to write the exam. So you have it in small, medium, and large fonts or text. So if you're the type of person that, if with the paper base you would normally not see the font size, the CBT will be good or better for you, because you can increase the text. So that is another difference. So the third difference is that with the CBT, in some questions you actually type less or put in less effort. Like for example, with the true, false, and not given questions, in the CBT you just click, which is very convenient. But with the paper-based, you have to actually write if it's true or false or not given. That also eats up into your time. Okay, so the fourth difference I would say is that with the CBT you can easily highlight, you know, you can also, you know, copy from the questions and put it right in the answer box. So what does this do? This actually gives you less chances of making mistakes or spelling errors, unlike that of the paper-based, where you literally have to spell out, you know, the answer, which is more prone to errors. So one thing with the CBT though is that you really have to know how to use the computer software, because no one is going to teach you on the examination day. You should know how to drag your mouse to highlight and copy, or drag and paste. No one is going to teach you how to use the computer interface on the examination day. Then with the paper-based, you have to use your pencil, obviously, to underline and circle out important points or things that you have or you're in need of to get your answers right. Okay, so these are the differences I noticed with the reading exam. Have you written both the CBT and the paper-based before? What other reading differences did you notice when taking your exam? So we'll move right to the listening section. Okay, so with the listening section for my CBT, I had personal headphones given to me, so this helped me concentrate better, although sometimes the headphones may not really be noise cancellation headphones, but it helps. It really helps, unlike the paper-based examination, where sometimes because of the large amount of people there might be noise, so it's less likely that you would concentrate. And also in some centers they just have a general speaker, not even a personal headphone for the paper-based listening exam. Okay, the second difference, like I already mentioned about listening, most times with CBT the candidates for the exam are way fewer. Like for 2 times I wrote the CBT before I finally got my band score, the amount of people in the room weren't even up to 10. I think we're about 8 to 10. So the people are very few, unlike the paper-based where you can have about 100 or more students in a hall. So it's not convenient because people are moving their tables, moving their chairs, drinking water, so many side disturbances. So the third difference for listening is that with the paper-based, you have at the end of the exam 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question paper to your answer sheet. But with the CBT, because most of the questions you're literally dragging the answers right there or clicking a few times you will type, you're only given 2 minutes after the exam to cross-check your work. So that's another difference. So let's get to writing. So with writing, basically for the CBT and paper-based is basically the same thing, but the difference is in just one factor, and this is a question you will have to ask yourself. Do I type very fast, or at least efficiently, or am I best with writing with a ball pen and a paper, or a pencil and a paper? So that is a question that you will have to answer for yourself, because yeah, that's a determining factor. If you're very slow with typing, you just have 1 hour to put your points together. So that is going to slow you down. You probably won't get to the minimum amount of word count that you're expected to give in your exam. So do you know how to type very fast? I have a friend, she's very brilliant, but she didn't take the CBT just for this reason. She was like, Winna, I don't know how to type very fast. I am very slow with typing. And she did so well with writing the paper-based exam. So ask yourself, am I fast with typing? That is one determining factor. So with that said, another thing you want to be careful of is because with the CBT, yes, you can type very fast and all that, but you know that feature that you find in maybe Microsoft Word that underlines a wrong spelling or a wrong phrase or a wrong something, that isn't present in the exam. So you would still need to cross-check your work and go through it and make sure that there are no spelling errors, because it's not going to be auto-corrected. So in as much as you can type very fast, be careful not to make mistakes. This also applies to the paper-based exam, because obviously you have to erase any wrong spelling and rewrite them. So it's all about writing what is correct at the end of the day. Okay, so that is that for writing. So lastly is speaking. So speaking for both CBT and the paper-based exam is the same thing, because you're literally sitting in front of an examiner, you're being questioned, and your answers are given back to the examiner, you know, through your mouth. So you're not typing, you're not answering any questions with your hands or your pencil, you're using your mouth. So it's basically the same thing for both CBT and paper-based. But the only difference that happened for me, which I think doesn't really apply to everybody, was that for the CBT, I did my speaking test on the same day as with my writing, listening, and reading. But when I applied for the paper-based exam, I always had my speaking test like 5 days before the listening, speaking, and reading. So that's the only difference I personally experienced. So in my personal opinion, with my experiences so far and with the differences, or which will I really go for, I totally preferred the computer-based test over the paper-based test. Yes, they were marked with the same criteria and so many things like that, but I way prefer the CBT, especially for my reading and my listening. It really helped me, for the fact that there are a few things that you have to write or type. You know, you just click, you drag, you're seeing your reading and your questions in on the same page, which was very convenient. You know, I felt like the CBT felt more sleek for me than the paper-based. You know, fewer people, so there's no too much tension, you're comfortable, the room is calm. So I would way choose the CBT. So another big thing for me was you know, the time factor. So with CBT, I always got my results in 3 to 5 days, but with the paper-based, you definitely have to wait for nothing less than, you know, 13 days. So it also depends on what you want to do or what your goal is with the result. So if you need your results in another 1 week, 5 to 7 days, you should definitely go for the CBT. If you are not in a hurry to get your result, then, you know, you can wait for the 13 days. So that was another benefit for me. So this brings us to the end of this video. I really hope that the differences will help you make a better and a very informed choice with which of the IELTS to take or partake in. So yeah, tell me in the comment section, have you written the CBT before? Have you written the paper-based? What are other differences that you noticed, or are you planning to write the IELTS exam? Which did you book for? So leave it in the comment section down below. And as I like to end my video with a prayer, I just want to say a very simple prayer: that the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, and the Lord makes his face shine upon you. Okay, until my next video, bye.